When we think of the name Elon Musk, a lot of descriptions come to mind nowadays. Billionaire join the list of, Jeff Bezos and Tim Cook and so forth. Tech enthusiast, innovator, head of Tesla, bringing his Tesla branded vehicles to space. Someone with children with names that with strange spellings that we can't even say or pronounce. And also someone who's very vocal on Twitter, who's not afraid or shy at all to say anything that comes to mind on Twitter. Which brings him to this subject of both social media platform and the man himself now intertwined together. Just recently, in fact, Elon Musk himself bought a share of Twitter. To be exact, he did buy a stake of 9.2% of Twitter, worth $2.89 billion very recently, which did send the company's stock price soaring all the way up. Now, Musk did purchase exactly 73,486,938 Twitter shares. So, like I said, at that percentage of 9.2%, that which is like a passive stake in the company. So he's now which now makes him the largest shareholder on Twitter. Now it's interesting how this is like 1 week, this whole big move acquisition happened just as Musk was just tweeting to his 80 plus million followers, free speech is essential to a functioning democracy. Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle? He did. Now, this question came from a poll, yes or no. So based on the results, as of March 25, 70.4% said no, while 29.6% said yes. So what does that mean? At least according to Musk, when he was asking if Twitter allows free speech principles, he believes that Twitter doesn't, which says a lot on his, from his own opinions. And what he says does matter. It carries a lot of weight. Before I go on, I remember one of his most well-known tweets was him saying, "Use Signal." And since then, like millions and millions of people have converted from WhatsApp to Signal based on WhatsApp privacy, data sharing policy, including myself. Because of him, I have Signal. So yeah, like his, what he says, his words do carry weight. Now, because of that poll, one of the CEOs of Twitter was saying, the consequences of this poll will be important. So please think carefully, Now, a day later, Musk tweeted that Twitter's failure to adhere to free speech's principles fundamentally undermines democracy. So again, he believes that Twitter not really allowing free speech undermines democracy and as I like to call it, screen culture, internet culture, however you want to put it, right? So yeah, this happened after Musk just before he was buying a stake in the company. Even an analyst on CNBC believed that because of this move in purchasing a stake, it could eventually lead to some sort of buyout. So, yeah, but that's not, I don't think that'll happen. I don't believe that'll happen. I'm pretty sure Twitter boards don't want that. But part of the reason why he's involved, he just simply wants to bring change to a platform he cares about, he's very active on. And plus, he's made no secret to another poll question that he's asked. I do have it somewhere. Do you want an edit button? Now, while the answers are yes and no, if you read the tweet carefully, it's purposely misspelled. Yes as in YSE, and then no with on, O-N. Based on the answers as of April 5, 73.6% said yes, while 26.4% said no. And I'm fine with the idea of an edit button. After all the major social media platforms do have edit buttons by now. I personally myself would like an edit button on Twitter. Sometimes when I post things, I just mistakenly not go back and recheck any grammar errors, misspellings, and then after I post it, I notice these errors, and then I find myself deleting that tweet, then going back and typing it again. So this is something that I'm in favor of personally, and this is a great idea, and it's great that someone like him, with his intellect, wants to bring something new from his perspective. So this is very much welcome, since something like this we've seen on Facebook. Now, Jay Sullivan, he's Twitter's VP of Consumer Product. He said that an edit button had been the most requested Twitter feature for years, allowing people to alter tweets with mistakes and typos without needing to delete the entire post. Now, however, he did note that without things like time limits, controls, and transparency about what has been edited, edit could be misused to alter the record of the public conversation, which is why the feature will take time and requires plenty of input. Now, when this whole Elon Musk Twitter acquisition happened, one of the CEOs, Parag Agrawal, tweeted out April 5 recently saying, "I'm excited to share that we're appointing Elon Musk to our board. Through our conversations with Elon in recent weeks, it became clear to us that he would bring great value to our board. He's both a passionate believer and intense critic of the service, which is exactly what we need on Twitter and in the boardroom to make us stronger in the long term. Welcome, Elon." Based on those tweets, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey did have to say this: "I'm really happy Elon is joining the Twitter board. He cares deeply about our world and Twitter's role in it. Parag and Elon both lead with their hearts, and they will be an incredible team." So yeah, all the vibes are very good, very positive, and this is a very good step forward. I think I found a statement as well. "The company will appoint Mr. Musk to the company's board of directors to serve as a Class 2 director with a term expiring at the company's 2024 annual meeting of stockholders," reads the SEC Form 8K. "For so long as Mr. Musk is serving on the board, and for 90 days thereafter, Mr. Musk will not, either alone or as a member of a group, become the beneficial owner of more than 14.9% of the company's common stock outstanding at such time, including for these purposes economic exposure through derivative, securities, swaps, or hedging transactions." Okay, so this quote I found from another sort of technology website called TechSpot, for those wondering, but what that 14.9% stake means is it's really significant. So if someone like Mr. Musk and his associates, for example, don't have more than 15% of Twitter ownership stake, then he could tender an offer, which means that when a shareholder has a majority stake in the company and offers shareholders premium price on their holdings. So what I'm trying to say is that he can tender an offer where he can purchase even more of a percentage, more of an ownership stake in Twitter. And this is something that the CEO, Twitter, boards, executives simply are trying to avoid. So this is why this partnership sounds like a 2-year temporary deal. If what I'm saying is clear. That way, they're trying to avoid a hostile takeover from Elon Musk or from anyone else. And in this manner, despite someone like him being active on Twitter, it's a good thing that they're avoiding any sort of controversy or mistakes or any sort of intense situations because of that whole edit button that he asked about. And I'm glad that he's very vocal about it. Twitter.com's account said this: "Now that everyone is asking, yes, we've been working on an edit feature since last year. No, we didn't get that idea from a poll. We're kicking off testing with Twitter Blue Labs in the coming months to learn what works, what doesn't, and what's possible." I know it sounds so simple. Like, of course, just insert it. I would be more than happy for a edit button. But I mean, like, when there's a Twitter thread that things could be edited and changed, and then I get it, like a conversation may be seen or perceived differently. But because we're common to auto types, autocorrects, misspellings, mispronunciations, and then everyone will see it differently, react differently, like, oh no, 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 I meant to say this and that. That's not what I meant. That's not what happened. So I'm just glad that someone like him, who has been really a big innovator, a big leader for Tesla, now has something to contribute for Twitter. And I was remembering, I think it was sometime last year, they had something called Fleet, kind of similar to Facebook, Instagram stories. And I used it one time, but it's unfortunate that it stopped. So hopefully, like, from his own perspective, he brings more to Twitter than what we have seen now going forward.